Yo, what is up, guys? So today is our first ever interview. We are talking with Dito. He is a artist from New York City. He's like a singer, songwriter, rapper, just all around extraordinaire. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting talking to him about his independent artistry and how he develops his artist his business. His artist business. How's it going, bro?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. You holding up with this whole quarantine
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah, because I'm in New York City, so I'm in the thick of it right now. But I've been quarantining for like almost 2 months now, so I'm kind of getting the hang of it. So
Okay,
everything's as normal as it can be right now.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like everyone's gone through those cycles of being like you're super productive and then super unproductive and then like maybe a little bit emotional. Now it's just
Yep.
like, all right, we're here for the ride now. Let's actually get a schedule going and get some shit
Yeah,
done.
you
I feel
you described it perfectly. That's exactly how I put it in perspective. Like the other day, I was like, I was super productive, and then I'm a couple days I needed a rest, and then now I'm back to being productive. So I'm just taking it as it ebbs and flows. But you described it perfectly for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's also the nice thing too, where if you're not productive, there's no repercussions. It's not like you're like, oh, I didn't get it done and I got to do shit tomorrow. It's like, what am I going to do tomorrow? I can wake up at 11 and just do whatever then,
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
Exactly.
it's the
That's
best
definitely
lazy
it.
days you could ask for.
You're only up against yourself, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely right. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool, man.
So what have you been doing to stay productive, my dude?
Well, one thing I've been priding myself on is I've read a book a week for the last like 4 or 5 weeks,
crazy.
which is cool.
Hell
Like I'm
yeah.
trying to just read as much as possible, and I write
Awesome.
every day. I'm writing music every day, and then I'm trying to record at least every day, or at least listen to beats, or I'm trying to grow my brand, like my brand. I think I'm using this time as well, not to release music, but to just grow my Instagram following, my social media following, hook up with you guys, like get on, just, promote myself as much as I can and share a conversation with people.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. This is
awesome.
the perfect time to do it. Yeah, because like as much as you want to be productive and have stuff ready to go when you get out there, there's no better time to just sit back and realize what business elements you really need to focus on, and then be able to create that game plan and then execute it right now. So yeah, good on you.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
love to hear reading too, because I know that reading and getting yourself in a different frame of mind and stuff, it really expands your thought and allows you to kind of view things from a different perspective, and it gives you a really different take on the kind of music that you're going to write, and you maybe you'll write it from a perspective of a character or something like that
Yep.
too, right? So
Yeah.
really cool. Good to
Reading
hear.
has definitely expanded my mind for sure. I mean, I'm going through them, and I'm reading self-help books and motivational books. So that's what I've been doing, just like you said, to expand your mind, because there's
Cool.
nothing better than learning more. You can learn something new every day. So why not take this time
Yeah.
to do that?
Who's your favorite right now? Who's like, what's the one book that you're like, oh man, it changed my life during this quarantine?
All right. So David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me. Have you guys heard of David Goggins?
Okay, yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah. So he's like he's crazy. Like he's very intense. He's a former Marine, but his backstory is very, it's pretty deep. So I read that, and his message is basically like, don't fear anything, and you're only up to your 40% of your capacity. Like people settle for for less than what they're actually capable of. So that's one book that's definitely made an impact through this quarantine.
Cool.
I dig it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had no questions about books, but when you gotta ask that. Yeah, man. So I don't know. Maybe let's get talking about some music then. Let's get talking about your journey, man. How do you like get started? What's like your inspiration?
Yeah. So the famous story in my family is that like when I was 4 years old, for some reason I woke up one day and I was like, I want to write like a love song, but I really couldn't write sentences yet. So at 4 years old, like I had this love song in my head. So I told my mom, I was like, Mom, do you mind like writing this song out for me? Because I have it in my head, but I can't write. So she did, and I have loose leaf paper still in my room to this day of just my first love songs. So ever since 4 years old, like I had this feeling to write. And then growing up, I would always listen to like the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Britney Spears, like On the Way to Day Nursery, and I would recite all of the words from all the albums. So like I don't know, I've always had this affinity to I really love music.
Cool.
So going forward, I did musical theater. I auditioned for commercials. Did all
Nice.
that. Loved being on stage. Like that was what I wanted to do. And then high school came around, and I gave it all up. Like I just dedicated myself to sports because I thought, all right, I'm in high school. I'm growing up.
Okay.
Hey, like maybe put it in the back seat. And then turns out sophomore year of college, I decided to start writing again and record. And I started putting out my first song on SoundCloud January 2017 or something like that. And ever since
Wow.
then, this is what I want to do. Like I graduated from the University of Florida in May last year, actually.
Oh,
So this
congrats,
past
man.
year, I've just been taking this time to record as much as possible, and I'm growing. Like, I've seen so much growth in the last year, especially.
Awesome.
So what are
Yeah.
you, 23 then?
23, yeah, 23.
Cool. Very
Yeah.
cool stuff.
Yeah, man.
Do you mind if I ask you a little bit about the time that you took off from music?
Yeah, ask me anything.
So, what do you feel like the pressure of like going into the high school and stuff like that, and maybe that extra little bit of stuff to be part of the sports teams or to not be involved with the musical theater and stuff, was that part of the reason why you maybe switched off and went to the more, maybe physical rather than creative side of things?
Yeah, I think I did it for so many years. I did it from like second grade to eighth grade, so I did it for a good amount of time, and then I kind of lost the passion for it a little bit.
Okay.
As far as like being on stage. So I looking back at it, I think because I played football in high school, and like that was my new stage, like that's where I felt most comfortable. And then unfortunately, like as I got through high school, I got 4 concussions, and I was told I couldn't play football anymore.
Oh, damn.
So brutal. That's so brutal.
Yeah, it was rough. It was a rough time, but it shaped me to be the man I am today. But yeah,
Absolutely.
So I went back to college, and like the same feeling I found with being on the football field, I found that again in music and writing every day. So I found out that's my true passion, is being on stage in that way. Not, I gave up sports, but transitioned back like seamlessly into writing.
Yeah.
And wanting to record.
I can understand how you get that sense of validation throughout the sports and getting that, like the accolades and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I definitely get too how being so in depth earlier on in your life and stuff like that with music and going into the side of commercials and stuff, it's a whole other business aspect that, like you said, you can lose your passion for it very easily because the whole creative side and the passion aspect is taken out for the bottom line, which is the dollar and getting the gig and all that kind of stuff too. I mean, even Alex and I have been very open and kind of realizing that was kind of what destroyed our passion a little bit towards the end with our music careers, was that we were so much more focused on the business side that the music side of it was less fun, because it was always, we're focused, we have to do the music and we have to do so much other stuff too. So definitely get where you come from with the demotivating side of it and stuff like that. But it's also great to hear that you found that passion again and you're diving right back in.
I'm glad I did.
Yeah, because from the outside too, because like you said, you've been doing it since like 2017, so you could see it as like, oh, he's been doing music and creating for 3 years, but really it's like you said, it's been there your whole life, right?
Yeah, it is.
Even though you've only been releasing it for 3 years, it's been there. It's ingrained in the DNA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Yeah, and I checked out a few of your songs and stuff, and man, it's good quality shit. You got some good stuff there, man. And it's awesome to hear that you're like you're an independent artist. You're trying to do it like yourself. And man, just like kudos for that. We definitely resonate with that. And so like, but while you're like independent, like who's like the big people that are kind of helping you out, because I know anybody that says independent doesn't mean alone, right? So so who are your homies? Who's really
all right? Yeah, so I try to keep my circle small. So right now I record at this big studio in the city. It's called Lounge Studios. I've been going there,
trying to keep it small, eh?
I've been right. So within that studio has like a bunch of producers and stuff, but I work with one engineer, and his name is Jesus. Okay. And it's just him and I. Like I go to the studio, I book a session, and it's just him and I. Like, and I love it that way. Because when I started out, I had family friends that came and try to, oh, you should do this like commercial type sound and this and that. I went for 2 sessions with them, and I appreciate them. They got me into the door, like as far as getting into that studio. But then I was like, I need to start from the ground. Like I need to find what my sound is, what motivates me, what my story is. So ever since, you know, like I for the past couple of years, I've been going in, it's just him and I. So that's the production side. So he's my engineer. He does the mixing, the mastering, he does it all. Cool. Beats wise, I use this app called BeatStars. That's where I get all my beats, because I found that I don't have the patience to be there producing beats. Like I'm more of on a grand stage. Like I can arrange things. I know where I want things to be, what type of sounds I want. But I'm out there pushing the keys. So I go on BeatStars almost every day and I look for new beats and I write to them, because you could download them and write to them. So I've been doing that. Promotion, I do my own promotion. I've gone the route of doing like paid promotion or getting on playlists, but now I'm stripping everything down again and doing straight organic. Like I wanted my numbers to be as organic as possible, because I know it's so easy to buy plays and buy all this, you know, to boost up your numbers to look like you have like some special status, but it's all a facade at the end of the day. Cool. Cover art, I have a graphic designer. I met him through school and he's been doing all my visuals, all that. But besides that, I do the rest.
That's awesome though, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's good to keep your circle small. Like especially we come from the band life thing, where it's like everybody's doing something in the band to kind of, you know, push the whole thing forward. So definitely that small circle mentality is like, totally get it. And it's really cool to see that you're like working with those people.
And also, it's just nice to hear that you found someone that you gel with too. Like you said, to start from the grassroots to ground roots, whatever you want to call it, and really like and develop your sound and yourself as an artist and get your kind of feet underneath you. It's really, really key to have that person that gels with you and understands what you're going for and can creatively help develop you and grow your sound and you as an artist. So it's so key. There's so many people, like you said, you have so many different influences that'll want to come in, and they're all in you know, meeting the best thing. And even me and Alex are the same way. We'll give our friends, you know, tips on stuff that we hear because we can't help it. But at the end of the day, it's got to be the artist, you know, that has to be happy with it and stuff like that too. So it's all a process, but it's great.
It is. It's a process.
Yeah, man. You ever look into like label support or management or anything like that?
I definitely. So my next goal is, when all of this, you know, coronavirus pandemic calms down, like I want to move to Los Angeles. Like that's my next step. Because I know when I get to Los Angeles, like I've done everything. New York is, you know, a great city. I love it, but I was born and raised here. I'm ready to move on. So I think when I go to LA, I'm going to keep on pushing myself to grow. You know, I want to grow my sound even more, because I feel like I'm never satisfied with myself. Like I'm never satisfied with my work, but I know it's a process and I have to keep going, just putting action forward, and I'm going to continue to get better. So when I get out there, I know I'm going to be able to have the resources and the networking opportunities to meet people and run into people. And I know I'm good. I'm a people person. So I know once I get there, I meet the person, and I feel like the sound and my direction will mesh, and it will get, like, when I'm personally ready to be found or introduce myself, I'll be at that point. But that's my goal in regards to labels. Like, you know, when it's the right time, they'll find me and I'll find them.
Yeah. Well, that's a good rule of thumb too, right? Is because like you don't want to get screwed over by any labels, right? So if you've been doing it yourself this whole time and you know exactly what you want out of it, then like, you know, it's not so bad to sign with a label. The problem is
it's all about leverage.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like early on in your career, you're always thinking, you know, I need that management, I need that label and stuff like that. But then once you really dive deep and you get the train rolling, you're like, oh, I can do this all without any of that. Especially once you get the views and stuff like that. If you can get that organic flow going, just like you said, it really does snowball. So at the point where they want you, you're like, oh, great, this is the, you know, that's the next step. That's where you just let it just all take out of your hands and you're laughing.
Dude, so cool, man. And it's awesome. And like, you're only 23, like rocking this stuff, man. It's cool. It's good. It's like I personally think it's a good mindset to have. It's slower growth when you're like all independent, but you know you're not getting screwed over by anybody, and like every decision you're making is on your own. You're not some like 19-year-old getting screwed over by some labels because you're not smart enough to really know what the hell's going on, right? So
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
one artist that inspired me was Russ. Russ
Oh, right.
did it all on his own. Like, people may not like what he has to say, but I've liked him since like the beginning. And his message is like self-sufficiency. Like, he released 11 albums, nobody heard it, and then he had this great idea to release a SoundCloud song every week for like 96 weeks until he blew up. And then he went to Columbia Records and got a partnership deal through Leverage. So that's kind of like the blueprint. And I'm putting my own spin on it, but that's kind of like what I'm following in regards to that.
Definitely, when it comes to work ethic, like Russ is a good person to look at. You know, like you said, he's controversial, of course, and that, who knows, that might help him in certain ways, right? But definitely a blueprint for sure. That's awesome. Really cool, man. Cool to hear that. And it's cool that you can like pull from somebody like that who makes music that's not, well, I guess yours is kind of close, but not really, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are you like right in the city? Where are you at?
Well, it's basically the city. It's called Roosevelt Island.
Okay.
It's kind of like a touristy site, but it's like a 3-mile long island in between Queens and Manhattan, but we're technically Manhattan.
Oh,
but
okay, cool.
Yeah. So it's a city.
Sweet.
I have a question. So I don't know why I said it like that.
Raise your hand, dude.
So yeah. There is a hand raising thing.
There is a hand raiser, I think, right?
Let me find it. You know what? I'm gonna ignore that for now. So what kind of home recording stuff do you do? Like, so you grab the beats from online and stuff like that. Do you have like a little mic set up and stuff at your house with an interface and that?
Yeah. So I have a mic set up. I've had that for the last couple of years. But I kind of neglected it because I relied too much on like going to the studio. But now that we're in quarantine, I'm loving that I'm finding myself recording, and I'm finding my sound even more because I'm able to. I dedicate an hour each day just to like full music, phone off, everything into my music. So I bought an audio interface recently. I love it. It definitely boosted my sound because I didn't know anything about an audio interface until my engineer told me. He's like, "Bro, like you need an audio interface." So I bought that the same day. Nice. And I have Logic, so I've been using that. Cool. And sometimes I don't, like I said, I don't have the patience to like cut, pay, like I don't. But I'm learning, and it's been a process, and I'm falling in love with the process. And I think that's what's supposed to be the root. Like that's the foundation I want to build for myself, is falling in love with the process, and whatever like the results will come. You don't have to like, don't fall in love with the results, fall in love with the process. And I'm loving, I'm breaking everything down in regards to my recording process as well.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
For us, you've got both sides of the coin there. Alex has dove super deep, and he recorded a whole last album, and I've tried my hardest, and I've given up like 4 or 5 times now. Like I barely, I've got myself going just enough where I can set up this mic that's in front of me to record what we're doing right now, and that's about it. You know what I mean?
So
I definitely feel. I feel that that idea of not having the patience for it and stuff like that. But yeah, it's good that you've stuck with it a little bit and you're doing it again now, because I know that's one thing that's helped me out a lot too, is just being able to record stuff at home and do simple little things like that. And then for someone like you too, we can be able to just have the beats there for yourself and then throw your vocals over top and have an idea kind of flushed out now to bring into the studio and really utilize that studio time, right?
Yeah, I know. Going back, I can't wait to get back in the studio because I have like 6 or 7 songs that I made that I think are the best songs I've ever made, like, and I've ever written. And I tell my engineer like every day, and I'm tweeting it out. I'm like, the next things that I drop are like, you're not gonna be able to handle it. Like I'm coming with it. Like I'm on that type of energy right now, because I know just sitting at home, I'm and devoting my time to music every day. It's helping me exponentially. Right. So like I'm excited because I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna be able to record and use that valuable time that I have in the studio. So like I'm excited.
Going forward, do you think you're going to keep recording at home?
I think I'm going to keep, instead of going to the studio without a full idea, I'm just going to take the time to record at home and flesh out the song before I get into the studio. Because that, like, it's a waste of time paying for studio time and going and be like, I don't like that. I want to go in with a clear cut idea of what I want to do with my song.
Pre-pro, man.
Awesome.
Pre-production.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know how many times like there was a while ago where we were helping out some other people with pre-pro and stuff like that, and that's like it's so key.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And even we did decent levels of pre-production, but there were some people that would write out pages and pages of here's
Wow.
verse, chorus, verse, bridge, everything right out. So there's certain extents of it, but even the fact that you're going to be stepping into it and doing it more is just going to be that much better for the music in the long run.
It is.
So
It is.
it's awesome to hear.
Yeah,
I'll help you
thanks.
with writing for sure, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, the amount of more creativity that can come out of that is just it's exponential.
Yeah, it's natural.
Yeah.
You're not forcing anything.
So you've been like writing for these like since 2017 or again, right? Like going hard at it. You've been playing shows too. Is that? I mean,
So University of Florida, we're in Gainesville, Florida, which is like it's a college-based town. So there's a bunch of bars, venues.
Sick.
So I actually made it a goal. I was like, I want to start releasing music, and then next year I'll start putting on shows. And that's what I did exactly. Like I started making music. I joined a student-run record label. Like I became a booking manager for like our student-run record label in school,
Wow.
and it was pretty legit. So I actually put on a hip-hop show in the town one Halloween. I like booked the artist and I set it up. So I started playing shows like 2018, and so I've been on stage and I loved it. It was amazing. And even though there weren't that many people, I still try to rock the show as best as I can. You know?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can't half-ass it no matter how many times you jump on that stage, man.
You can't.
Yeah. So do you have any like favorite show memories or anything like that? Have you ever been on tour?
No,
No?
that's the goal. I want to be on tour.
Yeah.
I think I'm just starting out.
Right.
I'm building up my catalog. So I know after I release this slew of songs, like I'll have a bunch of content to put out and go out on tour. But that's the next thing. I want to go on tour.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely key. Like nowadays, the playing it's the only real way to start, making money besides merch and stuff, right?
That's it. Yeah, touring is the moneymaker in the music industry now. So you have to go on tour.
Even then, Alex, it still comes back to the merch. At the end of the day, you're out on tour, but you're making more money on merch. Let's be honest.
That's sweetening the deal, though. Sometimes you got to get in front of people to get the merch out. So you got to get that show first. But
speaking of, do you have any merch? What kind of merch?
I do not have any merch. I have a one of one jacket, like a denim jacket that my friends at school they have a clothing company. They're crazy. Their name is Always True. They're ridiculous. So I have a denim jacket that has my logo on it, Dito. That's the one thing I have. But no, I haven't thought about merch. You guys are giving me things to think about.
Yeah,
which I like.
Yeah, it's definitely good for especially when you start getting back out playing shows, and then you have merch to push too, is just killer. And especially when it's you make it such a bomb shirt that people wear it and they're like, where the hell did you get that? I need one. And it's just perfect. And you just, even if you start selling to your friends and they're just selling them to strangers basically by wearing them. So it's good. It's good stuff, man. And do you have a plan for your songs, right? Like you have singles coming out, or do you have a whole album coming out?
So I did an EP in the first year of making music, but I decided I'm going to keep on releasing singles. I think singles are the way to go right now, because people consume really quickly these days. You can't release a whole album and then go away for a year, I mean, that's the old model.
Yeah.
But I think singles is the way to go, because you maintain your momentum, and that's what you want. You want to stay in front of people, stay in front of their screens. So that's what I'm going to do. Singles. My goal was to release a song every month of 2020, but with all this that happened, I kind of just readjusted, and now I have 6 or 7 songs, like I said, that will be ready to go once I get into the studio.
Right. So you're just at least writing that many songs.
Yeah.
That's sweet, man. That's so cool, dude. I'm excited. I'm excited to keep in touch and listen to these when they come out, man.
Yeah,
it's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So yeah, what's it like being an independent artist in like New York City? Like, do you think that's it's like way more competition and crazy, or do you don't see that because you were kind of born and raised there? And
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it is because I know people that are making music in my like around me in my neighborhood that they
yeah,
have a whole team behind them. You know, they're getting their studio like their studio time is paid for. They're going on
right,
trips. They're performing. You know, and I don't have that. You know, so
right,
there's different levels of independent here. And I'm seeing
Yeah.
that. And before it was like, woe is me. Like, why am I not getting support? Why are they not helping me? But one
Yeah.
time, like I had a conversation in the studio and I kind of like told my engineer like my feelings, and he was like, listen, you're doing it by yourself mostly, and it's going to help you become a better artist in the long run. So after that, I recalibrated, and now I'm loving the fact that I'm doing it mostly myself. You know, I don't need a team. No, and I'm not, you know, knocking like having that support system, but it's okay. Like, you know, I'm doing it my way, and I can only do it my way. I can't compete against anybody else but myself, because, you know, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're competing looking at other people's numbers. You don't know their path, you don't know their journey. So just that's what I'm trying to harp on now these days is like just compete with yourself and get better every day for yourself.
Yeah, and you also don't know how long they're gonna last. That's the other thing, and there's no way to tell that. So
Yeah.
you know, by being independent and
Yeah.
having that knowledge, man, it's like you're only able to roll that into so many different things and like be
Yep.
able to pivot and be able to move differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. You can't really focus on what's going on with other people. Is there any kind of like what does the states have for any kind of like music grants and stuff like that? Is that
Yeah,
something you've looked into and stuff like that down in the NYC?
I was watching one of my friends like Instagram lives. She was on with a studio, and they were talking about grants. And I never even thought about that. Like I never thought that was possible. So I looked into like a couple websites. I'm big on research, so like if I get information, I want to research it. So I found like there's websites for grants. So that's what I'm going to do. Like, I'm just going to apply. Like when I go to LA, that's what I'm going to do. Cause I didn't know like I can apply for grants to fund my music. And there's different,
just give you money for free.
Yeah, exactly. So
fantastic.
I found a gold mine when I found that. So it's funny that you mentioned that. Cause I like realized that like a couple of weeks ago that I can apply for grants.
Well, I mentioned it because, like you said, you see other people in your scene that maybe are going on trips and doing other things, and it seems like they have this whole team built around them. And the people that I know that are like that in our area are people that have government funding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm like Aston Clark, right?
Right.
He's getting tons of cash from, well, I shouldn't say tons, but he's got good grants from the Canadian government and stuff like that. And it's allowed him to go over to Europe and do different things like that. And then it's also allowed him to to get a marketing team around him for extra little things that he didn't quite know how to do, right? So little things like that can very much help you independently to get what you need for yourself, but then to kind of outsource for certain stuff like that maybe is a little outside of the professional zone that, you know, someone might be comfortable with. So it's definitely a good stuff to look into.
I'm going to keep looking.
Yeah, man. Once they give you the money, man, it's like they want you to succeed, right? Like, they don't want you to just piss their money away. So, like, you know.
And I've heard once you get it one time, it's easy to get it a second time.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is all good information.
Once they say yes, I've heard a lot of people continuously keep getting grants. And there's even people that'll help you. There's actual grant writers. Well, they'll take percentage if it gets approved. You know what I mean? If you say you get approved for $5,000, they're going to take $500 right off the top kind of thing. But they'll sit down with you and they'll help you write each step out and stuff like that. It's super helpful, but is not always necessary, especially if you know, certain grant writers might be doing a cookie cutter grant kind of thing where they do kind of the same idea with every artist kind of thing. And then some people will sit down and do a more in-depth one and actually be personal. And that's why it's always good to do at least your own draft first.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good stuff to dive into.
Yeah, man. It's so funny, eh, Shane? Like it seems a lot like our path.
Very much so. Yeah. Well, that's why I'm like, as much as I don't want to just like, here, let me tell you all these things right now and take up all your time, but you know.
Yeah.
This meeting. There we go. Yeah.
It's all good. We're past the 40-minute limit.
Oh,
Okay.
well, that was fast.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
been
it's
a great combo.
yeah. it's because I started it. I started it before everybody, so
Oh yeah, we
it,
did start
okay.
like 5
counted
minutes
that.
or so.
Yeah, yeah. It's all good, man. Man, this has been really good though, and I'm sure it's like
Yeah.
pretty eye opening for other
Yeah.
people out there who are thinking there's no other way, and they have to get signed or they have to pay a bunch of money to have somebody to manage them or something like
Yeah.
that. Do you have like any social media strategies or anything that you're trying to of course you're trying to build the following and stuff during this quarantine, but like you got anything that's like your real pushes for that?
Yeah. Yeah. So I've made it a goal. Like I knew like before I was like, why, once again, I was like, why isn't anyone supporting me? Why isn't anyone liking my videos, my song?
Right.
I was like, listen, like I have to contribute to the community before and I have to contribute without any expectation of getting anything back. Like giving, like truly giving to the community
Yeah.
and giving love and support to these other artists out there. So that's what I've been doing every day on Instagram. I just go and I just like find a random hashtag and like I genuinely listen to people, like their videos that they post of them singing, and I give them feedback and I tell them like check out their music. So I'm contributing to the community and my following has grown up. Grown. Like in the last couple of weeks, especially, like I've been just every day I've been at least 20. Bless you.
Sorry. Thanks.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing recently. Also TikTok. TikTok is a great way.
Cool.
I was like kind of like I did not like TikTok originally, but TikTok I've given in because it's helped. Even though like I don't every post I don't promote my music.
Yeah.
I'm like getting on the trends, but I'm also fitting my music in there. Like one trend, I just put my music in the background and it got 20,000 views. So I'm like, hey, even if they don't, it's not like showing, like if I'm not like, hey, check out my song, they're listening to it. So that's 20,000 people that listen to my song, even if it was like subconsciously.
That's what's great about TikTok lately. Is it's like the not even just dipping your toe, but dipping your toenail almost. Like it's like just the smallest amount of introduction to your music, and then from there it starts to build a bigger audience. So that's really cool though, man. That's awesome to see that you're implementing like a TikTok strategy. It's a real it's a newcomer. Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it's not something you wanted to do maybe full on, but you got to know your market, and if that's where you got to be, that's where you got to be sometimes at the end of the day, right? There's 50-year-old podcasters doing it, so.
I was big into like, I have to make it about my music. Like I don't have to get on trend. Like I'm too good for that. But then now it's like all about the story. And you guys talked about it too. It's like all about like, you have to show who you are. Like that's what people buy into. They don't buy into, you can't give them call to actions. You can't give them, listen to my music. No, you have to show them who you are so they can support you. Like that's how you build your brand. You have to show your motivation, why you write music, who are you writing for? Why do you do this? And I'm learning that in this time that I've had too, is like, people are going to listen to music, not only because it's good music, but because it's me. Like you have to buy into me before you buy into the music.
Sell the lifestyle, man.
Mm-hmm.
And also show that you give a shit for long term too, because there's so many people that are just doing it for the quick one-off, and they might do. I mean, we've got tons of friends that will put out one little EP, and then 6 months later they're gone, and then they might come back a year later or whatever it might be, or whatever the case is. But to be consistent with it and show that you're dedicated to it, really is that much better too. I mean, whenever we go check out channels and stuff, if it's a new channel, even if it doesn't have views, if you're dedicated to something, it shows that you have the passion for it and you want to do it long term. So
a lot of people, we call it chasing the bag here. It's like you're like people want to chase the bag. They want that one hit to blow up, but it's like, what do you do after that? Like people want to go back for more music from you, but I only have one song. Hey, it may have a lot of streams, but what about your catalog? Like me, I'm shying away from worrying about like results. It's all about next one. And when one hits, I'll have a bunch of music for people that I think is high quality that they'll be able to fall in love with as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you'll like get a hit and you'll be like, oh great, that one was a hit. It's like I got like 5 singles coming out later. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it going. Like
if it wasn't that one, it might be the next one or the next one. It's like either way, you got
my
stuff
mentality.
lined up. Perfect, man. That's so awesome, and it's great. Like you're still so young doing it. So man, it's tight.
I feel old,
awesome.
but you guys are helping me out.
No man, don't. it's like, I don't think anyone really should feel that old, you know.
Yeah.
If as long as you got the energy to keep doing it and the passion to keep doing it, man, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what age you are. It just helps. It just helps for you because you're gonna have, you know, more of that passion to go around.
Yeah, more experience. Yeah, I'm learning that. I'm learning that for sure.
Yeah, man, that's so cool, dude. Yo, where did you get your name? That's not like you're not born with Dito, right?
No.
Yeah.
So I'll give my real name. My real name's Brandon,
Right.
but I'm Puerto Rican, so my grandmother would always call me Brandito. So I was like, when I'm creating my name, what can I do that like it's kind of a persona, but is also me? Like it's still true to me.
Yeah.
I was like, Dito. So people were like, originally my friends were like, oh, is your name Ditto? I was like
the Pokemon.
You know what? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? My goal is to like be so like such a household name that no one can call me Ditto. Like everybody's gonna know it's Dito. So that's what I've been doing. It's like it started with my school. People called me Ditto like when I went out to party, and then after a while, I was like, oh, Dito, I listen to your music. I'm like, wow, that's validation that I'm doing the right thing. So Dito, I love it. It's me. It's like, you know, it's my persona, but it's still, like I said, it's true to me. So that's where the name came from.
That's amazing,
cool.
man. Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I like that. All right, man. I don't know. I guess it's getting pretty late. We're almost at 6 o'clock here. So.
Okay. Wow.
Ooh,
yeah.
Time's flying.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So if that's cool, I'll wrap it up here.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciated the conversation, and I appreciate you guys having me on. I just, you know, I wanted to come and have a conversation with talented people. I appreciate the content you guys put out because
thank you.
I relate to it, you know, and I'm definitely going to keep watching, and I want to contribute, and I want to, you know, form a relationship with you guys, and, you know,
for sure,
a cool back and forth.
Dude, definitely.
Sweet.
Definitely. I'm going to stay on watching what you're doing, what you're up to. Stay listening to your music, man. It is really good. I enjoy it.
It's only going to get better. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll only get better.
Yeah, man. And it's cool. It's cool to see that you were supportive of us and reaching out to us, man. Like, thank you so much for that. Cause you know, if we had a little bit more of that in this world, then everybody would, you know, be a little bit further along. So it is good. It's good to see, man. You got to push the music scene forward, and it's awesome that you're a totally different genre and you still saw that value of like an independent artist. So it's really cool, man. It's nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Anything for you, Shane? You guys say anything?
No, I'm stoked. It was a pleasure meeting you, my friend.
Pleasure meeting you as well.
I was stoked for the conversation, and obviously, you know, you got anything you want to pick our brains about, feel free to hit us up whenever and stuff like that. And
of course,
I'm excited to maybe get back together in maybe like, you know, 2 months and hear the kind of progress that you've had, and maybe we can send us a couple tunes beforehand, and maybe we can do like a live reaction or something while you're here and do something fun with the next video. You know, we'll keep it entertaining. So
I'll give you guys a sneak peek for sure. That's a great idea. I'll do that.
Yeah. Especially awesome. if you have a music video. We'll definitely review that we'll watch that on the channel for sure, man.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, I'll get some milk and cookies, and I'll just I'll enjoy myself a nice little video.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Good stuff.
Thank you so much, dude. Thank you. Appreciate having you on, man.
Cheers, Dito.